Today's episode comes to you straight from the Foundation Insurance Services podcast studio, your home for elevating voices, inspiring leaders, and building the community one conversation at a time. If you're enjoying the journey, we'd love for you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these stories reach even higher.
I was heavily drinking and all those things that I did, that I had this opportunity to finally bring stability to a Richardson home. Not because of anything I did, but because I showed up and I read about this man named Jesus.
Hey there, welcome back to Above and Beyond, where excellence meets elevation. I'm your host, Jan Simon, and this season we're raising the bar, diving into the passion, purpose, and defining moments of leaders who don't just aim high, they live there. Big ideas, real stories. Let's get into it. Today's guest is LJ Richardson, a family-first entrepreneur who's built his career around hard work, strong relationships, and showing up the right way. He's been married to his wife, Melissa, since 1999. Damn, were you like 3?
Close.
Okay.
Close.
Is a proud dad of 3 and a grandfather to Emery. Did I say that right?
You did.
All right.
Yeah.
LJ started working in the tire industry at just 17 years old and spent 16 years with the nation's largest independent tire company before branching into golf, apparel, and non-ferrous
Yep.
foundry industries. We'll have to get into that because I have no clue what that is.
That's great.
In 2022, he took a leap and founded MobiTire, formerly Freedom Tire Guys, and most recently became a partner in Orca Golf Clubs.
Yep.
This is a conversation about experience, relationships, and betting on yourself. Let's get into it.
Let's go. That's
All
cool.
right. Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Super excited.
Appreciate you coming on, and I'm excited to get to know about you. First, because I will forget once we get into everything else, tell me what a non-ferrous foundry is, because I know what a foundry is. Is it kind of the same thing?
Well, non-ferrous is just non-ferrous metals. So anything that's not iron and steel. I worked in aluminum, brass, bronze, gold refineries. I worked for a company, global company, that made the melting pots. So they were as big as like a shot glass, and then get as big as a jacuzzi. And all non-ferrous metals, they would melt down. And then I got to go to places. They were making V12 tank engines, torpedoes for the military, tombstone head signs for grave sites, and everything. Door, anything aluminum, brass, bronze, copper, gold. Got to see some of the gold that they would mine on that. I never watched the show, but there's an Alaskan gold show or something.
I may or not know exactly what you're talking about. Gold Rush, maybe?
Yeah, that was it. I was up in Elko, Nevada, and I was in this refinery, and they were like, all the gold that we have here is from those guys from the show, and then we take all their gold and refine it down to, pure gold. Yeah, one of the craziest things that I got to experience was one of the foundries in Salt Lake City. You had to go through an X-ray machine, and then you basically make sure you weren't coming in with nothing
taking
coming
it out.
But right behind the cage, they had, I think she said it was about $30 million in gold, and it just stacked right there, and it was just me in a cage, and I just remember thinking that is a lot of money.
That is
in there.
a ton of money.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
It was.
That's crazy.
Knew nothing about them when I got into it, and I can't really say that I know a whole lot about them now that I'm not in it, but I got hired because I have good people skills. So.
Were you in sales then, or marketing, or what'd you do?
No, I was basically just an account manager. So I covered Texas, north, the United States, and everything west. In Vancouver, BC, and then everything west. I traveled about 100 nights a year doing that, and I basically just showed up and just built relationships. I mean, people were already using the product, so I just had to hang out. My wife, towards the end of my career with that, she was like, what are you going back for? And I was like, we got to visit here and there. And then she'd call me and she goes, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, we just left the gun range, and now we're going to go get some dinner. And she's like, yeah, hard work. So some people wonder why I quit doing that, but it was time. But it was a lot of fun.
Well, it's funny because different story, but I was a territory manager for years. I don't even know how many, 10 years, I guess. And it's funny because my ex-wife, wife at the time, same thing. Oh, you're just always out partying. You're out. It's like, yeah, but I'm always on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Number one. And I'm always sleeping alone in a hotel bed.
Man, you have no
How many
idea.
times I'd like to be at home. I would say to her, I would much rather be at home with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and my kid in my lap. It's like, so anyways, I hear you. So let's talk about LJ.
Okay.
Tell me, where'd you grow up?
Yeah, so I haven't ventured far. I was born out in Maryville,
Okay.
and I lived out there for 3 years, and then we lived in Payson until the summer of '89. So I spent 6 years in the backwoods of Payson, outside the city limits. Legitimately dirt roads, no street lights. It felt like we walked uphill twice to get to the bus stop in the snow.
Yeah.
And, the small town, the parades, my mom used to hand make all of our costumes. And then we moved down in the summer of '89. And that's actually when I first met my wife off of Chandler Boulevard in Kyrene. My wife was the cute little 9-year-old across our apartment at the park.
No kidding.
And we met them. And, so, I mean, really,
Like blindfold her and tie her up.
No,
She
no.
never got away.
No, we saw each other through 7th grade, and then we reconnected as seniors in high school through some mutual friends. We had kind of forgotten about each other, but from Chandler Boulevard in Kyrene, I basically went to Country Club in Guadalupe, and then bounced around during my senior year because my mom moved and I went to go live with my dad. But my wife and I have been at Ellsworth and Baseline for 17 years, and then we moved to Signal Butte and Ray the last 8. So I mean, pretty much my whole life has been the US 60 and the I-10, like this whole corridor. I mean, Gilbert High graduate. This part of Gilbert Road was not super cool back in the 90s for sure. So.
Well, I remember we moved to Arizona in '99, and we moved to Southern and Val Vista, basically. And the first night we moved into our house, SRP didn't turn our power on. They were supposed to. So we had no power. So I was like, we'll go find something to eat. We drove around for like half hour trying to find an actual restaurant. There was nothing. It's like you're at the edge of the world. And then you start heading south, and you're like going through cornfields, hay fields, and all that other stuff. Yeah. Morrison Ranch was literally Morrison Ranch.
That was Morrison's Ranch. That was it.
They had the blue barrel out by the barn that they'd sit out there and burn wood every night.
Exactly.
So you grew up in Gilbert.
Pretty much.
Gilbert High School graduate.
Yep. Class of '98.
How many high schools were there in Gilbert when you graduated? 2?
Well, Highland had just opened one. So I think I was at Gilbert Junior High like the last year it was open. And then everybody that I went to junior high with in 8th grade went to Highland. And my mom sent me to Gilbert High because it was closer to Country Club in Guadalupe where we live. We're like right on the boundary. And so I started Gilbert High School. And so, then it was just Highland High. I mean, that was really, obviously all the old school Mesa schools, but
right.
As far as Gilbert was concerned, it was, are you a tiger or a hawk? And that was it.
Yeah.
So,
well, are you a Mormon or not?
Yeah. Well, that was, I had no idea. I remember my freshman year, I had to ask, I was like, where are all these kids going across the parking lot? Like, what's that? What are they doing? And they're like, oh, that's seminary. I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, that's the Mormons take like a class over there. And I was like, that's lucky, man. They get to get off campus.
They get off campus. You know what's crazy? So I grew up in a really small town in Washington State.
Yeah.
And we had a Mormon church right across the street from the high school. I had no clue it was a Mormon church. Didn't even know what Mormons were until I moved down here.
Really?
Right. Yeah, truly. Moved down here in '99 after college, everything. And all of a sudden, everybody starts talking about these Mormons and all this stuff. And then you see the little seminary schools across the street from the schools. I'm like, hell. I go back for my 10-year class reunion. And it's like, that's a Mormon church. Yeah. It's like, had no clue. Yeah. And then you start putting all the pieces together of who was LDS when you're growing up.
Start looking at the last names.
Yeah.
Like, definitely. Like all of those.
They're cousins? What? Yeah. Never. I just didn't pay attention.
Yeah. After I got out of high school, I realized, like, man, like I went to school with, like, every street that's out in Queen Creek, a.k.a. Queen Tucky. Like, I went to school with all of them. I was like, wait a minute, that's all those kids' last names. Like, their whole family owns, like, from Queen Tucky down to Florence. Yeah. So, it was pretty, like, whoa, kind of eye-opening.
That's crazy. So, did you do anything in high school? What kind of student were you? Athlete?
I was an average student.
Piccolo?
Yeah, no. So, I had a long-standing Pop Warner and junior high football career.
Okay.
And then I realized freshman football, 5'4", 115 pounds. And I think I got ran over by the girl that was playing tight end. And I didn't play ever. I was tiny. I didn't have like any drive. Like it just was a complete, it was tiny. And I was like, I love football, but I think I should just watch it. So it's funny, after freshman football, I didn't really know what to do. I was like, well, that's pretty much into that. And so a friend of mine bet me a box of honey buns to go join the ROTC. I was like, well, that's a PE credit. I'll do that. So I actually did the Air Force JROTC for like 2.5 years. But that's really when I got into acting and theater.
Okay.
I was in some plays in junior high, and then in high school was like really when it took off. And actually by the time my high school career, up until Christmas break, my senior, I thought like I would pursue acting. Like I was, I hated musicals because I can't sing, but I did them. Because my drama teacher was like a second mom, and she was really like, you have to. I was, I'll never forget, we did Bye Bye Birdie my freshman year, and I played like the son of like the big McAfee family. And, I don't even think I don't even know like what she was thinking, but she made me sing, and it was so awful that people laughed, and she's like, see, people love you. And I'm like, I got you. So I did it. I mean, it was some of the worst singing ever.
Awesome.
The only thing I avoided was like Shakespearean plays.
So hard.
I was like, I don't want to do that. But a lot of acting at school, and then we did a lot of outside like National Thespian conferences. One man monologue, 5-minute monologues, which kind of turned into like a family thing, because once I started learning like these 5-minute bits, everywhere we'd go, like Christmas time, my mom's like, okay,
Do it.
I'll do. I'm not like a pony show here, Mom.
She put out the hat,
So,
collect
yeah.
money.
Yeah, so I did a lot of those, but that came to a halt in my senior year in high school. Yeah, but C average.
Yeah.
Never wanted to go to like college for school.
Smart that way.
Yeah, I just didn't. I don't know. Acting was a lot of fun. I thought that would take me somewhere. But yeah, I just didn't really have that. I felt like maybe I'd just get into some blue collar work and do whatever.
So I used to act. TJ Tillman
Oh yeah.
used to act.
Let's
Joke
do it.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Three Stooges.
I used to picture myself. I used to want to be a stunt double.
Okay.
Like I thought that would be cool.
Yeah.
And because I was stupid adrenaline junkie, but I used to do stuff like you ever play kick the can? You know what kick the can is? So it's kind of like tag.
Okay.
But you got a can you put in the middle of the street.
Okay.
Okay. One person's it, and you got to protect the can. And so like if I find you and you can run to kick the can, and you kick the can before I jump over it and say over the can on LJ,
Okay.
you kick the can, everybody goes free. So then everybody hides again. I got to count, and I go find people. So we used to play it all the time. We'd play it for hours and hours on end, all the neighborhood kids.
Okay.
But I used to hide on the roof of the neighbor's house. It was a little single story house. And I'd hide on the roof, and then I'd jump off the roof when the person would get across the street and kick the can and, whatever. One time I decided I did a flip off the house.
Nice.
The neighbor's mom was sitting on the front step.
Oh.
Jan Simon, you get your ass back here. I kicked the can.
Did you stick
kept
the landing?
Yeah.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah, I
Go
know.
for it.
I was like, I kicked the can, kept running. I'm like, but that was, and we used to do stupid stuff on our bikes all the time. Like, I used to always think I'd be a stunt double because I thought that'd be cool.
It
Like,
would be cool. Here we are.
go blow myself up,
Yeah.
But anyways, be in some, war movie, and I just thought that'd be just the cat's meow. So
I don't know. I don't know what I thought I would do with acting. I knew I didn't want to do stage, but like I said, halfway through my senior year in high school, I went and told my second mom at school that my girlfriend, now my wife, obviously of 26 years, I said, no, she's pregnant, and I have two options: continue down this path and neglect a baby on the way, or I'm going to go get a real job and I'm going to be a father.
yeah,
And I'm going to be the best father I can be. And I didn't really know, at the time, like what that looked like.
yeah,
But, so I dropped out. I mean, I had just auditioned at the National Thespians Conference in front of about, don't want to exaggerate, but about 100 different schools. Everyone sat up in there and you did your bit. And I had 32 callbacks.
Really?
That I was going to go back and do. And a lot of students have been going to Colorado State. A couple of them went to Oregon State. There was a small school in California. So I thought, well, here's my chance. Like,
yeah.
you're born and raised in Arizona. And at that time, I'd never even seen the Grand Canyon or Tucson, Arizona. So I thought, what am I missing?
Yeah, right.
And it didn't work out that way. Yeah, I immediately dropped all of my classes that were extracurricular, And I went to school from about 8:20 in the morning, got out 11:40, and I was at Discount Tire by noon.
Wow.
And I worked that, and then that took off into a career once I graduated high school.
This podcast is powered by Above Par Network, where networking isn't about awkward mixers or endless pitches. It's about genuine relationships, real opportunities, and having a good time doing it. If you're ready for networking that actually works, visit AboveParNetwork.com.
This episode is powered by 5 Leaf Financial, expert accountants, tax preparers, and CFOs who help you make smarter financial choices. If you want peace of mind around your finances, visit 5leaf.net.
Yeah. So, daughter or son?
My oldest is a daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, she's 27 now.
And now do you remind her daily of how much you gave up so that she could have a father around?
I think she knows. She was born 3 days before I turned 18.
Wow.
And so I think we've kind of I relinquished any birthday rights for that August birthday. Hers is the 23rd and mine's the 26th. So when she was born, I just remember like this feeling of like, holy crud, like this is like for real. Like
crazy. This
is somebody I'll never forget. I remember Melissa getting in the back seat of the little Civic we had, and I took Taylor in her little thing and I popped her in, and Melissa's like, all right, get us home safe. And I looked at the nurse and I go, hey, is there like a manual I can take home? Like, what am I to do? And she just looked at me and she goes, sweetheart, I've watched you for the last couple of days, and I think you're going to be okay. And we were just, we were young, real young. We had just got out of high school. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think hopefully my daughter knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I commend you that you guys are still together. I mean, obviously, young love is a huge commitment and taking that step. So that's incredible.
Yeah. Thanks.
Tire business.
Tires.
That's not easy. I actually studded tires.
Oh, no way.
In college.
Oh.
I worked at a place called Les Schwab.
Oh, I'm very familiar with Les Schwab.
Yeah. So I worked at Les Schwab, freezing ass cold.
Oh yeah, never.
Outside bay, studding tires. I still think the pain in my wrist is because of the stutter. But yeah, I did that I did so many stupid jobs in college, but that was one of the jobs I did when I was in college, work tires. I could work the bay, change the tires and all that stuff too, but for some reason probably because I was stupid and young and I got to work the stutter. But
yeah, you're like, let's go.
Oh,
yeah, no. Down here in Arizona, we didn't have to worry about that. There was no snow changeovers.
No.
I remember they put in siping machines.
Oh.
And I was like, what do we need this for? They're like, well, it's to help when it rains. And I go, yeah, bro. This is
never going to rain.
Go ship these to Flagstaff. Go put them in Prescott maybe, but we don't need them here. And so that was about the extent of anything I had to do crazy.
I got a buddy that I went to high school with whose dad owned a retread shop.
Okay, yeah.
And God, he was in there all the time working that stuff. I never really understood it. Yeah. But then after I worked at Schwab for a bit, then I'd go in and be like, oh, okay, I get it now. Yeah. But it was all like, big
semi stuff.
Yeah, semis and tractors.
Big money in
that.
Yeah. Big money. Yeah.
All the retread stuff. So, but all right. So you worked at Big O.
Discount Tire. Yeah. So it's funny. I worked at. I didn't have too many jobs. I mean, in high school, I did Taco Bell for 3 months, and I was like, man, this sucks. They don't even give you free tacos.
Really?
Then, they didn't.
They wouldn't give you food?
Nothing, bro. And back then they were like 39 cents.
Yeah.
And then me and my buddies went to this place it's a wedding venue now, but it used to be called Jungle Jim's Playland off of Alma School in Guadalupe. Mm-hmm. And I was the dude that got to put the monkey outfit on for all the kids' birthday parties. So we did that for a little bit, and then I went to Blockbuster Video. I mean, it's really crazy to think that isn't even. I think there's one left, but I was making like $4.50 an hour, and my wife at the time though, she was like, hey, we have a kid. I don't think $4.50 is going to cut it. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. I should go get a real job. So my buddy had said, hey, there's a Discount Tire opening. I walked in. I literally got out of a 78 Celica with a cowboy hat and the tightest jeans I had and a white T-shirt. And I go, I need a job. And he goes, you ever work on tires? I go, sir, I don't even like working on cars. He goes, perfect. At least you're honest. We'll hire you at $6.50 an hour. I said, let's go.
Job.
Let's go. So
almost doubled your wages.
Yeah. I did that from, 97. I started early 97, February. I started at the McClintock and Warner Discount Tire. It was the newest store in the valley. And now I think there's 25 stores added after that one. So I did that, and I pretty much just bounced around Discount Tire, trying to work my way up to store manager all through my 20s and into my early 30s. And then I finally got promoted to store manager. And then I was like, this is not what I want to do.
Yeah.
This isn't what I want to do. This is, I didn't see you don't see your family a lot. There was,
Back then, were they open on Sundays, or was it still?
No, never been open Sundays, but it's a Monday through Saturday, and you get one day off during the week, and you couldn't really take Saturdays off. So, what day does everyone play sports? What day do your kids have all this stuff?
Yeah.
So not knocking it. I mean, I won't ever belittle my time there. It's maybe we'll talk about just all the different jobs I've had that set me up to become a business owner. But I mean, I appreciate my time, and it taught me. I was around Discount Tire when Mr. Hawley, the owner, was like alive.
Oh yeah.
And very much involved, and that was a different vibe for us back then, coming up through the ranks. And a lot of the managers that I came up, I still talk to this day. But I mean, I remember standing at Lake Tahoe, Mr. Hawley and I were standing there and eating an ice cream bar. And, here's this billionaire.
Right.
And we're sitting there in swim trunks and T-shirts that say, like, Discount Tire, 50th year, or whatever it was. And he just looked at me and goes, can you believe this is all just because of, good customer service and tires? I was
That's
like,
crazy.
Thank you for that. Thank you. And,
Yeah.
man, I learned a lot, had a really, really good time, so to speak, and learned a lot from it. But, yeah, kind of, looking now back, I mean, it really helped kind of put me in a position to understand the business, but to bring some things along that maybe I think have, gone missing. But
yeah. Getting into that, I mean, obviously sounds like he was pretty influential in your life as far as what he said at that moment in time. I don't know if there was other run-ins with him or interactions, but was there somebody that you worked for or with that really kind of helped you realize that could help you sustain a family, or was it more, hey, it's $6.25 an hour? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it was $6.50 an hour. And then, I finally got hired full-time like a year later. I went in for an interview, and then they called me and said, sorry, like, keep trying, like, just learn a little bit more. And then a week later, some dude failed his drug test, and they're like, hey, you got hired. Congratulations. I'm like, yeah, full-time. Let's go. $500 a week. Let's do this. So, looking back, there was some managers that I had when my very first manager, his name was Frank. And, I don't think we just had so much fun, and he made good money, and he had us over to his house, and we got to see his wife and the kids, and just kind of that family atmosphere. And, he was influential because I worked for him later on in life too, as his head assistant. And so that was a great relationship. But I mean, there were so many guys. There's a guy back in Kansas now that I wouldn't say I loved working for him. His name's Dwayne, but yeah, he was instrumental just in my life. Looking back on a lot of the great things I learned from him, and a lot of things I don't agree with, and maybe he wouldn't now, but he shaped me to be like kind of who I am in the way that I kind of pursued careers. But yeah, those guys in my Discount Tire life, there's lots of them. I mean, there's a lot of them. Chuck Gibbs, Scott Ocotillo, just good dudes. And I met really good friends. Like, there's still dudes that we freaking busy, dude. Discount Tire, busy. And we just, I don't want to sit here and be like dramatic, but I mean, it's a Saturday. They close at 5. You lock the door. You got 50 cars still to do at 5 o'clock on a Saturday.
Wow.
And you got, 20 guys to work on. And then you got your other buddies that are closing their stores that are going, hey, we'll come help you. And those just build friendships. Like, we have a good run. I got Steve Bentcourt was in his wedding. My buddy Sean Slagle just kind of retired from there to start something after 25 years. My buddy Emery and Sholo, I'm probably missing. But those guys just, the core of like what it was to be like a 20-something-year-old. Unfortunately, there was a lot of bad habits that we all picked up on. There's a lot of drinking. There was a lot of immaturity. Thank the Lord, like, we're all alive through it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, it was, Mr. Hawley was definitely, the run-ins you had with him were special because, he was very young when he started Discount in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And he literally rented out a corner store and just sold, like, I believe he's got a book that was like 6 tires and like no plan or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
He literally started this company out of like this little shop, and there was a competitor right across the street, and he just took care of people, and it grew into something amazing.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So, I mean, I would think that everybody that ran through the Discount Tire, hood from his experience would say the same thing, that just him as a man, and very present with the business and his people. So,
Yeah.
good dude.
High school,
Yeah.
you're acting theater coach, teacher,
Yeah.
influential.
She was.
Yeah. You say like second mom.
She was a second mom. My high school time, I basically grew up with, two sisters and my mom. And so my mom worked her butt off for us kids to provide for us and do a lot. So at school, she was kind of like a safety net for me. So much so that after high school, I think my kids were all old enough. She was actually the theater director out at the girls' Catholic school out in Phoenix. So we showed up and watched the play, and then I talked to her afterwards
how cool.
about Florida. So that was kind of like a cool wrap up on that relationship. But yeah, she definitely helped, push me, because I didn't really have a whole lot of like motivation. Like I was like, let's just get through high school, and see where acting goes. But yeah, she was Janice Robillard was her name. So I'll never forget it. So that means she probably was super
She was important. Yeah.
she was important.
Yeah, that's awesome. You spent 17 years at Discount.
Yeah, 16 or 17-ish. So
Okay.
from 90, the beginning of 98 to I left in January of 13. So,
Okay. So about that, 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
So through that time period, what types of roles did you have within the tire store
Sure.
that you feel kind of started helping position you or make you start feeling like I could do this myself?
Well, definitely back then, I never thought about the tire business, like doing it by myself. I mean, I left Discount Tire to do a startup with a buddy of mine. I think, naturally I was a hothead, but I was a leader of, I was a boys amongst boys. I mean, I'm a 20-something-year-old, basically telling a bunch of, high school boys, like, what to do. Like, we kind of fed off each other. So leading that and just kind of, motivating, maybe sometimes not in the best way. So I do apologize. I still see some of those guys that were younger than I nowadays, like put tires on their vehicles now. But back then I didn't really envision being a business owner. I just kind of went through the motion. And then in January of 07, I attended a Bible study, and that's where my relationship with God grew. And I just kind of turned my perspective towards, because there's a lot of money to go around with tires. I mean, you and I can sit in a restaurant and there might be 5 potential customers of yours, but pretty much everybody in that shop if you own a tire business, everyone's a potential customer. So Discount Tire paid really, really well for store managers. I mean, I will never deny that. And I always was like, growing up with little, I always just wanted a lot. I just wanted more and more. And then in 07, I gave myself to the Lord, and I just I remember my shift mentally was like, man, I'm not knocking anybody. Go pursue whatever your heart's desires. But for me personally, I was like, man, it's not about the money. And it kind of not sucked, but I had worked so hard to get to where I was at that a couple years later I got promoted to manager. And I thought, maybe this will make me happy. And it just never did. And I felt like my desire to be more of a husband and a dad outweighed how much money I could make. And but I continued with Discount Tire, obviously, for years after that. But it was really random, kind of-ish. My buddy played professional baseball. He retired. And a couple years after his retirement, we were sitting I was the manager at Discount Tire in Lindsay and University. And it was one of those nights where the company's in cleaning your floors, so you're going to be there until like 2 a.m. And he had kind of known like my desire to, like, what else can I do, And he's like, hey, why don't you quit this and let's start a golf apparel company, and we'll figure out apparel manufacturing, and we'll give all the net profits to charities, and we'll see where that works. And I go, well, okay, well, let's talk. And by the end of that night, it was a Wednesday night. That Friday, I put in a 2-week notice.
No way.
And my poor wife, I think she cried for a little bit, just because of the uncertainty.
Yeah.
To leave a secure job, 401k, medical, dental. I mean, I jumped into a startup and was like, hey, we're going to do this. So, but what it gave me almost instantly when I left was the family time because at that time my boys were, I don't know, 6 or 7, 6, 8, and then my daughter was 13 or something, 12. And holy crud, man, to like go to a job and work from like 8 to 3, 8 to 4, and then be home for dinner. No more meals in the microwave. No more kids already asleep. Oh my gosh, we're going to go watch Taylor play volleyball on a Saturday. This is unbelievable. It actually took me probably 6 to 8 months to not have this overwhelming feeling of like guilt that I had put my career ahead of my family. And I really struggled with that.
Yeah.
So much so that I would get like irritated driving by a discount on a Saturday. It wasn't Discount Tire's fault, but it was just an emotion that, from 17 till 32, that was our life. Daddy was the Discount Tire guy, and he worked, he'd be at work at 6:37 in the morning, and he'd get home at 6:30 to 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. And so yeah, we went through that, and then I did the golf apparel and stuff like that.
Big thanks to Maritim USA for sponsoring the show, helping businesses simplify payment processing and reduce unnecessary fees. If you're tired of overpaying to accept cards, it might be time for a better option. Learn more at maritimusa.com.
This episode is supported by Rocks Ink Calligraphy, where every piece is created by hand and designed to be remembered. From custom calligraphy and engraving to live event personalization, Rocks Ink turns meaningful moments into lasting art. Learn more at rocksink.com.
What kind of impact did that have on your relationship with your wife?
To leave?
To
be at home?
Well, to go from discount,
Yeah.
from certainty,
Yeah.
to entrepreneur, uncertainty.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, no. So my wife is a type A. She wants everything. How is this going to lay out?
What's your plan?
And literally the plan was, I'm going to quit and we're going to do this. And she was like, heaven help us. But to be honest with you, being present in the home outweighed anything. So, like, mind you, my wife quit work when our youngest was born. And so, like, we were at one income, family of 5. Daddy paid the bills. My wife decided she wanted to homeschool our boys. Our daughter was going to a private Christian school, and we were that family that was like asking for everyone's tax credits. Like, we can't afford it, but God's going to provide. And she did it. She went from 7th grade all the way through high school. Wow. Graduating class of like, I think 8 or 9, something like that. It was amazing. But I think, but my wife and I, just the communication and just the quality, my wife is 100% quality time. And I had to learn that because that isn't my love language. Mine's definitely not that. But we learned it, and we just became like a really, really good team. And my wife is very good with money, and so she stretched a long way, and made sure that like home cooked meals and the kids were taken care of. And we did kind of every summer. Melissa and the kids, after Taylor got out of school, they'd go up to my mom's place in Oregon City, and we knew that was school shopping time because of no taxes. So we would get up there, and she'd be like, buying all the clothes, but we made it work.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it definitely drew us closer together. There's a lot. Let's put it this way: there's a lot more family pictures and videos post Discount Tire career. And I think a lot more smiles on everyone's faces. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That. So,
how long did you do the golf apparel?
We did that. I did that 5 years, almost to the day. Like, I literally started the job I left that for almost to the day. And so 5 years with we were second guy golf, 2GG. Okay. Because the second guy is always better. Yeah. So that was the whole stick.
What is it still going today?
No, it went on for about 4 years after I left. I think he kept it going for about 9 years. It was a phenomenal run, though. I mean, just imagine a tire dude who thought he wanted to be an actor and an ex-Major League Baseball player who, World Series pitcher, all-star, pitched with some of the greats. He was really, really good. I'll call you great because I know you're going to watch this. Here we are in a room about this size. I'll never forget it. And we had 2 laptops, and we go, all right, like, what do we do now? Like, how are we going to do this?
No.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
we just kind of like literally went all in. We went to the PGA show at the end of January and just kind of walked around and thought, what have we gotten ourselves into? And then we kind of found some connections, had our first run of products made in India through like a sublet dude. And then before I know it, we're going to Las Vegas Fashion Week, and we're going down to the garment district in LA, and we're looking at things, and we're traveling to China 2 times. Went to Thailand the third year I was around. It was pretty wild. The coolest thing was we partnered with Feed My Starving Children here in the Valley. And then my buddy, when he played ball, he had a young lady who was a nanny for him. And she actually started a girls' rescue home, Josie's Angels, over in the Philippines. And she takes girls out of sex trafficking.
Oh, wow.
And she's basically, she is the mother to these young girls.
That's cool.
And she fights the court systems and provides, I mean, it's super awesome. And those are the 2 charities that we really targeted and wanted to bless with the net profits of all the money we made. So, and it was super cool. I mean, I got involved. I really found my niche with like tournament sales. So we did Sally with the Mesa Chamber. I did all of her polos and stuff for years running. Sunshine Acres, Alice Cooper. I got to design some of those polos for his golf tournament. And so it was a lot of fun. Yeah, you played a lot of golf tournaments.
Yeah.
Never got really any better.
Well, you're pretty good.
Well, thanks. But yeah, so I really enjoyed it. But but like everything, I think again, the next job, what it provided for me, and then the way that Discount Tire, Second Guy Golf, and then Morgan Advanced Materials, what those 3 jobs did for me when it came time to go, I want to do my own thing. I could never like repay those people and those companies like for what they taught me. You know, it wasn't easy to leave the golf apparel, but it was a necessity for my family. So you want me to go into that, or
yeah, let's do it. What led you up to that?
So I'm a part of this this men's Bible study group that meets. It's called Men's Practice. Every Saturday, 100 dudes from like 15 different churches get together for an hour and a half. Great organization, still going strong. I've been involved with it for a long time, 9 years now. And one of the guys that was on like the board of directors with me, we were golfing, and we're walking off the course, and he literally just looks at me and he's like, I want you to come work for me. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And he's like, I want you to come work for me. And I go, I don't know like what you do. And he goes, I don't care. He goes, we can teach you anything, but the way that you communicate, the way that you show up, the way that, in our men's Bible study, I do announcements every week and then kind of like lead the charge for the opening 20 minutes. So I think he saw some of like that ability in me. And I was like, no, I'm good. And then he was very persistent. And the golf thing was going. But then he calls me up and he's like, I need to put someone's name in like in a week. I go, okay, well, what does it pay? Like, tell me about like, okay, forget if you think I can do the job, what does it pay? And then he like laid it out. He went boom, 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 boom. And here I am working with my best friend, my two best friends, the guys that I'm in Orca Golf with now. We're showing up every day doing work, and I have a guy offer me more money than I've ever made, even at Discount Tire, because I never got to that upper tier, like manager level. I was only a manager for like 2.5, 3 years. So I never knew like money like that. And he's like, you'll get this, and that. You get a brand new 4Runner every 2 years. Everything's paid for. You'll travel. You keep all your points so you and your family can use those. And I was like, holy crap, man. Like, holy crap. Like, I think I have to do this.
Yeah.
Because not only did it come with a lot of money, but he said, 401k, medical, dental. If I tell my wife that, like, it's game over.
Yeah, she won't hear the rest of it.
And so I called her and told her, and she goes, please tell me you said yes. And I go, no, babe. I told him I'd get back to him. So we'll fast forward. I ended up leaving at the end of January and starting with this company based out of London with manufacturing facilities all over. But yeah, so all of a sudden I took on a role as a foundry account manager. I had no idea what a foundry was. Of course, when you hear crucible, everyone thinks like the crucible, and I'm like, no, it's a melting pot. And I started that in February. In March, I'm in Germany, freezing my butt off, walking through these factories from like the 1800s, like on the side of a hill going, man, what am I doing?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
It's
but
crazy. How long did you do that?
I did that for almost 4 years to the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy thing about that job forced me to go to Tucson for the first time in my life. The 2017, so I'm 36 years old, born and raised here, and I have to drive down and go visit there's 3 foundries in Tucson. And I was driving to Tucson after just taking this job, and my buddies in Nashville who had left Discount Tire to start Freedom Tire Guys, they called me as I'm driving, and they said, hey, we want to start a mobile tire company out here, and we want to know if you want to get in. My buddy Kanan called me, and I was like, bro, that's a great idea, but I just left the startup with a buddy, and my wife is going to kill me. Like,
Right.
that's not happening for me.
Yeah.
And so really, I mean, we talked a little bit, and then I said I wished him luck, and really didn't give it like any thought at all. And then so I did the foundry business, and I mean, I didn't realize how much like I love to travel. I just like to be on the go. My wife would tell you like I have a hard time like doing nothing. Mm-hmm. So I loved like I had a parking spot on the 4th floor at the airport. Like I knew that was it. I knew how long it took me to get here, and
Yeah.
I just loved to travel. And then obviously, 2020 happened, and I was actually in SeaTac Airport coming home. It was March the 13th. It was Friday the 13th. I had just done my run all the way up to I went all through to the Tacoma, Seattle,
Like Bellingham.
okay, all the way, and I'm in the airport. That was when the first case of the coronavirus was at an old folks home in Seattle. And that was like that week, and the plane kept getting delayed. And I was like, man, what's going on? Like, finally got home like late night, maybe even early morning Saturday, whatever it was. And then that was it. Like I didn't travel until like June of the following year.
Wow.
So that was tough. Put me, at a desk with a computer having to do Zoom calls. And then you try to get foundry workers and foundry managers to respond to emails. It wasn't happening, man.
Yeah.
I literally took up a hardcore black coffee habit with cigars with my next door neighbor for the whole year. We built a $1,000 chicken coop.
No kidding.
And I was like, whoa. So, but then we got traveling again. And I was like, oh, it's not as fun as I remember. Mm-hmm. And that's where like my wheels started turning. Was in 2021. I was like, we got to do something different. So we took a family trip in 21 out to, my wife's got some family out there, and they have a farm, and we were messing around on a tractor, and I had to do something with the tire. And I kind of nonchalantly, when I got back to the place where she was at, I was like, hey, I think when we get home, like, I think I want to start like my own business for reals. Like, I think I want to get into the mobile tire business like the guys in Nashville. She's like, you're crazy. But I think she kind of knew, like, he's crazy enough to do it. Mm. And so we talked, and I had kind of started talking with those guys, a little bit. And so, yeah, that was pretty much it. We got home from that trip, and I was just trying to figure out, like, how to get out of this and how to get into the tire business, that was a little hectic.
So did you end up then partnering with them and became Freedom Tire, and then you switched out to Mobi?
Yeah. So I got a hold of the boys out in Nashville, and I was like, hey, you guys have been doing a great job. Where do I get a van? Like, how do I do this? And so we had this agreement that they would own Freedom Tire Guys Nashville, and then I would create my own LLC and own Freedom Tire Guys Arizona. We'd be completely separate entities, but we'd have the same name. And then eventually, like, let's meet in the middle in other states and figure out, like, a decade down the road how to turn this into something special. And so that's the way it started. So I actually flew out in February of 22 and drove the van back in a nice little snowstorm across the 40. And that was pretty much it. So we had kind of operated underneath that umbrella from 22, 23, and then 24. There was just some things like there was nothing that we did like ever meshed or gelled. Not because nobody was good at what they were doing. Everyone was just so busy doing what they were doing. And because we didn't have shared bank accounts and shared business accounts, like, it didn't really never matter. So there was just some things that started happening in 24, not really happening, but I was like, I think for me to kind of take this to where I want to take it, because I don't want to have to share a name and then figure out like all that schematics to that. I was like, I think I just need to rebrand the name. I mean, the LLC is just do a DBA and rewrap the vans. And so, that's pretty much the way it went is the end of November of 24. I just kind of like let them know like, hey, I'm going to do this. And they're like, okay. And so that's when we kind of launched. 25 is like MobiTire. And, nothing changed except I thought it was really simple. I thought, we'll just change the QuickBook invoices to MobiTire.
Yeah.
Little did I know that like everybody I did business with, like it was like, we need this new form and that new form. I'm like, well, the LLC is the same, but look, man, I mean, we've kind of just been going, we've been going full blast since we started. I mean, it's been, 3 vans. I got my son, my brother, my nephew, and 2 other young men slinging tires. And we've had some really crazy accounts that have kept us busy and, but yeah, here we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you do fleet work?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, we do fleet work. We're actually, the goal in 2025 is to try to pick up 20 to 30 new fleet accounts this year.
Okay.
Construction, anything basically blue collar work that have fleet of vehicles from, I don't care, 1 vehicle to our largest fleet account has 180 vehicles in it.
How big of tires do you usually go to?
We go up to 19.5, so like the F550, like dually trucks. We do larger than that, like we sell them, but I sublet that to the guys that specialize
The labor
in like,
of
the
it.
big stuff. Yeah, I'm like, I thought I wanted to get into that, and then I bought some equipment to do it, and it's all by hand, Mm-hmm. And I did a couple like trial run, and I was like, I don't want to do we want to be in and out. We want to be efficient. Plus, there's 5 million people in Maricopa County. Like, why go after semi truck market's saturated?
Yeah.
And all the customers that use that, they figured out a way to nickel and dime because it's a money game. Obviously, people want to. So I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, we want to specialize. Again, going back to the discount tire days, like just take care of the people. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot easier in a controlled environment when you specialize just in passenger and light truck tires, to really hone in on that business and really take care of people like the way that I remember in the 90s and the early 2000s that like this is how you were taught, and people loved it and they responded well to it. And like, that's really what we're about, is just like that customer service and efficiency. No one wants to be on a semi truck for 4 or 5 hours. Like, when you can put tires on your car, you're in 30 minutes and go, and you can go do whatever you got to do,
Yeah.
This episode is made possible by our partners at Best Option Restoration. When water, fire, or mold damage hits your home or business, you need a local team you can trust to respond fast and do it right. Learn more at bestoptionrestoration.com.
Shout out to Guidance Alliance, a trusted peer advisory group for business owners who want honest answers, not motivation posters. Small groups, weekly sessions, ideas that actually work. Visit guidancealliance.com to learn more.
Well, that was the big thing when I was Les Schwab. I mean, it's funny because when I go to somewhere here, which now I don't, I have Jeff do my tires.
Right, yeah.
But now I'll have to have you do my tires. Yeah. But Les Schwab it was always quick. I mean, if you weren't hustling, man, they were on you. Yeah. And I go to some of these places now, like I pulled in the other day because the low light came on my truck while I'm driving. I'm like, I'll just pull into, discount and let them, Big O or whoever it was, I think I waited in line for 45 minutes.
It was just bananas.
I'm like, come on already. You're just putting air in a tire. Let's go, But they're obviously trying to upsell and all the other stuff.
Yeah, they got some crazy schematics now where they measure tread depth and do this. And look, man, safety's important, but I mean, that QT, here's a nod to QT. My boys love it. All the guys that run the vans, that's the only place they'll go, but free air at QT.
I've never had luck, and maybe it's because I probably pull into Circle K.
No, it's Circle K.
It seems like every time I pull into one of those places, it's like the things are broken. Yeah. Somebody's busted the air thing or whatever. Anyway, so it was. Has there ever been a time in your life through all those transitions and changes where you've had to kind of reinvent yourself, change who you were, maybe for the better?
Yeah. Well, interesting question. When I took on the role as like the account manager, I had never really been challenged like on a time management level, right? Like I'd never experienced what it meant to like control my time. Yeah. Yep. like my boss lived in Gilbert, but like our boss lived in India. And so, to not have a time clock, to be able to like actually like get your schedule down when you're going to go visit 30 accounts in 3 days, like that was kind of what I alluded to earlier. Is Discount Tire taught me the customer service game and tires, obviously, but then being involved with my buddy Russ at the Golf Apparel, that taught me like how hard it was to like start something from nothing. Like, Discount Tire, multi-billion-dollar company, right? Then you get into the meat and potatoes of like, we're going to do something from nothing. That's a lot of work, and there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through, and there's a lot of unknowns, and there's a lot of grind. And then leaving that to get into the crucible business, time management, I was not good with time management. And I had to learn really, really quick that if I thought I was just going to drive around and do these calls and then get back to my hotel and be a night owl like I am, I'll go to bed at 1 o'clock and get up at 5 o'clock and then go get breakfast and go. I had to learn time management. Don't want to miss my airplane to get home. I got rental cars I got to get back. So all three of those really, Discount Tire in a sense were like, it's just like a young man, like what it meant to be a provider. And then like, this is just hard work and you're going to do it. And then the Golf Apparel just taught me like hard work from nothing. This isn't backed by, the Hawley family, So all three of those, I think, kind of pushed me in directions that led me to where I got to start my own business, where I had to find out like who I really was, a listener and as a leader, as an organizer. And then I had to like understand what my strengths were. And I 100% knew what my strengths weren't. And I tell this story often, but when I started, we'll just call it MobiTire. When I started this, literally the first person I hired was the CPA that we had at the Golf Apparel, because I had a great relationship with them. And I walked into their office and I said, I want to hire you. I don't want to do any of this. LJ doesn't know this. I don't want to learn it. I want to understand it, but it's not my forte. I can't be bogged down with trying to grow a brand and then figure out like how to do this. And that was kind of like my first step of going, all right, this is real. Like you're paying someone to do this. Now you have to go execute with everything else that you know. And so it, I feel like I've had to not reinvent, but kind of turn the dial on who I am. Because I definitely, coming out of high school and getting into Discount Tire, one manager told me that all I ever did was just shoot from the hip. And that's always stuck with me. I didn't agree with him at the time, but looking back, I'm like, man, he was so right. Because I was just always so quick to like, man, if you walked one step out of line, like, this is the way it is, and you listen to me, and very, just very hyper and not able to process. So I wish I would have started the mobile tire business maybe when I got out of it. I'd be the king of mobile tires if I started it
for sure.
10, 15, 14 years ago now, but I didn't. And I think that just God's provision through all the jobs that I had allowed me to become who I was in 2022 to go, like I'm going to bet all on me. Like obviously my family, and I'm trusting that the Lord's going to provide, but like there was opportunity to take some money from people and give some money away or percentages, but really I just banked on myself. I look at my wife and I go, we're going to take this money from this position and we're going to go all in on us. And she was like, okay, like you're crazy. I said, let's do it. And here we are. It's March 1st will be 4 years. So
what does success look like to you?
The reason why I started this business was to leave a legacy for my children. Hands down. It was to create something that the Richardson kids would look back and go, Dad cared enough about our future to provide for us monetary, but also if you want to be involved with this business in some capacity to help take this and keep pushing it on down the road. So I think success to me would just be, in the business aspect, it would be having a sustainable business that does things the right way, that makes money, so that my family can enjoy the pleasures of their families and whatever they want to do in life, and not be bogged down by, the 9 to 5 that they hate. Not that you don't hate your job sometimes. Like work is work.
You got to do it the majority of your life. You may as well enjoy it. So.
Success would be that. Like I don't sit around and think like, oh, the tire business is going to pay me, millions of dollars in royalties if I walk away and my kids run, and I'll just be able to pull. I mean, yeah, it'd be crazy to think that, I don't need a little bit, but yeah, to have, I want a company where my employees get paid well, that their families get to like benefit from, just the generosity and the vision that I have when I started this, that they have the medical and dental, and they have the 401ks. Maybe they got the employee profit share, but it's just like it's a business based on legitimate like family feel. Now I know as you grow bigger, those things can get misconstrued or lost, but that's my hope. Success would be in 5 more years down the road that I'm not showing up every day, that I have my hand in it at some level, but that my son who's involved with it now is running it. It's prosperous. All the guys are making the money to support their families and their lifestyle. That would be a success story to me.
What do you think a misconception is from somebody who doesn't own a business, looking from the outside in at somebody who does own a business? What do you think one of the major misconceptions is?
That we have all this free time and that we're able just to tell other people to do our job for us, and that you're just rolling in money.
Yeah.
I think a lot of, my idea from looking at people that I've known, and I've known some really successful, entrepreneurs that they are rolling in the money and doing that. But man, there's a period, and I'm still in that. I'm still in that period of like, it's still like a happy grind, but I have time because I make the time, and I won't ever give that time. I won't ever give my family time to a company, even the one I own. That's why we're Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I will never do 24-hour roadside. I will never open up on the weekends. We're not going to do those things because I don't want to do those things. And so yeah, I think a lot of people probably look and see. It's really cool. It's really, everyone plays the social media game, right? Like I got some friends that are like, man, you're killing it online. You do this, and I'm like that, and I'm like, man, there's a grind to it that you don't understand. And owning a business isn't for everyone, and right. I get that. You have to have a certain quirk to where you're like, yeah, I'm willing to do, certain things, and you have to sacrifice the time, but it's necessary. But you can't waste the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sorry, I think I just burped in your mic. Hot mic, check. Yeah, I think people probably think you and I are just rolling around as business owners. You might, and kudos to you. I try not to post a lot when I get like away from the office and maybe go golf or something, because people think, oh, there it is. Like
it's always just golfing. Yeah, that's the hardest thing to explain to somebody, because I actually have people who say that to me. You just go play golf all the time. It's like, but what you don't see is you're building relationships.
Yeah.
You're establishing, you're building, you're cultivating. You're kind of always on. Yeah, I can be having fun. I can go so far with it, and then I've got to bring it into check, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it might get out of hand, and it gets a little bit too far. But at the same time, it's like you're always positioning yourself to say, okay, I want this person to respect me enough to hopefully at some point we figure out a way to do business together.
Yeah.
Whether that's I have my tires changed with you, you do your insurance for me, we're sitting on the podcast together.
Yeah.
It could be something completely different that right now neither one of us knows about, but eventually down the road it's like something happens. It's like you've got an expertise on something, I've got an expertise on something. It's like, you know what? I think that'd be a great partnership. Let's make this happen. And I think that that's what people don't see when they see the pictures on social media and they're like, oh, you're just playing golf. It's like, that's what you see. But to me, that's a major misperception, because it's like, yes, absolutely. Am I having a good time when I'm out there playing? Absolutely. Yeah. Most of the time.
Most of the time,
You're pissed off a lot.
Usually for like eight holes, 9 holes.
Yeah.
The
rest of the time, not so much. But, there's just so much else that goes into it. But anyway, so what mistake have you made in your life that you wish you could erase? Or do you feel like all of the mistakes kind of led you to where you're at today? And they weren't mistakes at all.
I know this may sound like someone might watch this, hopefully at least one or two people watch this. Hopefully not one of them will go, oh, I knew you'd say that. But I legitimately, I've been able to learn from all of my mistakes. And I know that sounds really crazy. And people go, oh, no, there's some. I really don't have, any regrets per se. There's one personal that I won't bring to light. That might be one. But as far as like just the life that I've lived to this point to getting to where I am now, I mean, sometimes I think mistakes. Sometimes I feel bad for the way that I treated people when I was younger. I feel bad for the way that I communicated to people, the way that I led people. But I've learned how not to do that. So I don't. Is it a mistake? No, that's just who I was. That's how I did things. But I wish I wouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
But it's taught me now I run a company with a bunch of 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
So their language is a lot different. Even though, three of them are related to me, they speak different language than I do. And the old school LJ wouldn't be able to communicate with them. I know this because I've tried it and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, I mean, mistakes-wise, man, there's been a lot of them. But, man, you always got to there's just a lot of perseverance. And I'm not one to like have a mistake and go, well, like pass it off on someone. Like I own it. And I'm like, okay, I need to be better.
Mm-hmm.
I need to figure out how did I get here? And what did I do or not do that put me in this position to where, man, you made this mistake? And I just kind of reflect on them. And sometimes, yeah, I'm really good at, I think I am. I'm really good at taking things that come up that I maybe have done and just kind of asking other people, like, hey, help me understand, this is X, Y, Z. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't have any. I know that sounds, I'm not, egotistical or arrogant about it. I don't feel like I've had mistakes that I regret. I don't have any regrets except for one.
You know what's interesting is you just saying that, like, instantly popped into my head. When I think about that question for myself, I don't know if I have regrets, right? But I think the biggest regrets are opportunities I didn't take. So it's almost like I feel like those are more mistakes than, where I had an opportunity to do something and for whatever reason, typically out of fear of something, the unknown, I decided not to do it. And so when I think about that, having you just said that, it's like it makes me think, yeah, the opportunity I didn't take is probably the mistake I regret the most. So
yeah, but see, coming from me, discount tire lifer, to hey, let's start a golf barrel company, to dropping in a 2-week notice and having to go to lunch with my vice president the next day on a Saturday. He's like, meet me for lunch. I was like, it's Saturday, and he's like, meet me for lunch, and then to get involved with that with one of your best friends. And to go, look, man, I got an opportunity that's better for my family at this point in my life. I'm leaving to, man, this job is great. I'm not going to make this kind of money when I leave, but I want to go do this. Like, I feel like for someone that thought they were going to be in one job for 30-something years to be on job number 4 now, it's pretty crazy.
Well, I think that's really cool. I've been in insurance for 30 years, it was not what I went to school for. It's not what I wanted to do when I grew up, and I've been stuck in it because make too much money or whatever the reason is that I haven't made a step.
But now we're doing this.
Well, now
we're gonna do podcasts.
We're doing podcasting. Yeah. We are gonna make this happen.
Yeah.
Talk to me about MobiTire.
Yeah.
What you guys do, and your vision going forward. I mean, is it a fleet of 50 vehicles across 10 states?
My answer is different now than it was in 2022 when I started. Then it was, man, how do I take over the whole southwest of the United States of America? Today, as it sits right now, what we do is we literally bring just a tire store to your home. So we do new tire sales and installs. We offer all the same type of warranties that you'll get at any other dealer. We have all the same accounts set up with all the major brands, all the brands that they don't sell. And we, sell and install new tires. We do tire rotations. We do flat repairs. We do TPMS for that stupid light that comes on your car all the time. We service those, and that's it. I'm not going to get into brakes. I'm not going to do oil changes. I'm not interested in changing out your battery. We specialize in everything to do with your tires, and we do it the very, very best. My vision right now for the company, we have currently 3 vans. Our hub is right here, right behind downtown Gilbert. I would love to, in the next couple years, have a facility like we have here out on the west side of town, kind of catty corner way off on the 303, so that we could support that side of the valley. And I would like to see us maybe in 5 years' time have 10 vans helping service all of the fleets that we can in the 5 million residents that we have living here. I don't know how many of them are driving, but really, I had to kind of hone it back and thought, like, Arizona is like, what, the fourth largest city in the country?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So, like...
Well, the Phoenix metro area itself is...
Yeah, the Phoenix metro is bananas.
Yeah.
So, at first it was like, oh, let's expand, let's do this, and everywhere but California. Now I'm like, man, I just need to figure out how to be the very best in Maricopa and Pinal County that we can be.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do my people or our customers a disservice by thinking that I'm bigger than I am, in the sense where, like, I don't want to just do things to do things. It has to be very methodical and thought out, because money doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
And there's only so many people willing to work in summers in Arizona in the back of a van when the temperature gauge reads them at 145 to 155.
Yeah.
So summertimes we'll try to get out like 7 in the morning, and then we don't book any appointments past like 1, 2 o'clock. And then we'll 2 maybe, but then after that we answer phones and book them for
the next
following days. Yeah.
Is most of what you do pre-scheduled, so you're not doing a lot of emergency stuff?
Most of what we do, we want it to be pre-scheduled, but there are times, I mean, even today we had 2 customers call us. One lady had a flat tire. Thankfully, she worked from home, so she was like, can you just get to me before noon? We're able to fit her in, show up, fix her flat. Life's easy. Another person had a tire bad at work. They're like, this is my work address. Can you get me done today? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, what you won't see MobiTires doing is showing up on the side of the freeway.
Yeah.
We're not doing any of those type of roll calls.
AAA
Yeah. If you hit the curb pulling into a parking lot and you're just on a side street, yeah, we'll come save the day. But we're not going to do like emergency. Yeah, I just tell people, like, I'm sorry, we're not AAA.
Do you do wheels as well, or just tires?
No, we do wheels.
Okay.
Yeah, we're set up with about 5 different vendors.
Okay.
So we do wheels.
So if somebody hits a curb, pops, breaks a seal and all that, you can take care of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shifting gears.
Yeah.
Okra. We'll talk about that for a second.
Orca.
I don't know why I said okra.
That's all right, though.
I think that's
Are they
something you
good?
eat. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm from Arizona, but I
think that's something they eat in the South, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Orca
golf.
Tell me about that. Do you mind?
No. It's interesting take. So golf. Let's go back to first ever PGA show. No, second ever PGA show is a golf apparel guy. We show up. We sign up to have a booth at the PGA conference in Orlando. And for some reason, our little brand new startup apparel booth got put into this hallway with the Club Makers Guild. So we're surrounded by like all these club makers in their booths, and we're like, this is really weird that we're here. Well, the guys that were right next to us were Alex and Stuart from London, and with Orca Golf, and golf club manufacturing company. I mean, we've been around now, I think 20 years now. So back then, it's 10 years. They've been going strong. And so we hit it off great with those guys. We ran around Orlando with them. I think the following year we actually shared a room with the guy. We VRBO'd a place. So we just built this really cool relationship with those guys. And then, of course, I get out of the golf business. And my buddy Alex in London hits me up at the end of 24 and was like, hey, I'm going to come out to Florida in March of like 25. He's like, I understand that the States are a lot bigger. You can't just drive over to Florida.
Yeah.
But if you could make it, that would be really cool. And I said, yeah, man. I mean, there's a little bit more to it. But I told my wife, hey, Alex is coming to town. I'm going to fly out to Florida, hang out for a week, play some golf, catch up. And, so I went out there, and by the end of it, there was just this opportunity that we saw in the U.S. market for golf clubs, because they had been going so strong all over Europe. I mean, all over Europe, phenomenal. And so I came home and kind of, again, one of those crazy things that my wife has to put up with. I was like, hey, we want to bring Orca to the United States, and I want to invest in it with, a couple other buddies, Aaron and Russ, you know them. She's like, you're crazy. I was like, I know I am. So yeah, we got in as on that level as like an ownership team here stateside to launch the brand here in the U.S. And little did we know that just throughout the summer, if you're a golf nut, you should know about My Golf Spy. If you're not, then you might go look them up now. But we didn't know like really what was going to happen. But Alex had sent a bunch of clubs to get tested through My Golf Spy against the top club makers in the world, right? I mean, everyone's going to buy the PXGs and the Pings and the TaylorMades and the Titleist and the Callaways, and like all these clubs are just hammered out there. And then here comes Orca, gets independently tested by My Golf Spy here in Scottsdale, and we start like wiping their butts.
Okay.
We take first place in this iron, third place in this. We start winning all these awards. And then it's like, man, like we can really do something. Like we got to get on it. So we've been, I would say that the word would be methodically planning out how to get this thing launched here. I will say for all the things going on in the country, tariffs have been a problem in the tire industry because everything, nothing's made except for a couple brands in Tennessee.
Yeah.
I've seen tires go up. Well, trying to get golf clubs that are manufactured with Japanese steel into the United States because of the tariffs and stuff has been a little bit more challenging than expected, and the cost of it is whatever. So we're there right now. I feel like we're so close to finally getting them here, getting ramped up, and getting going with Orca. I think it's going to be. I'm putting it all on black because I think it's going to be. The clubs speak for themselves. We've gotten a lot of great feedback from professionals and really, really good like low cappers, and yeah, they're the real deal. And I don't take any credit for that. Alex is the club designer.
So it'll make me play better if I get a set of Orcas.
Absolutely, 100%.
Well, we'll have to talk.
Yeah,
'cause I need a new set of clubs.
A lot of people would say, well, of course he better say that, but I mean, you can't argue when a company puts your product up against the best in the world.
Yeah.
And they go, well, let me tell you guys something. It's like they're legitimate, like they're contenders, hardcore.
Yeah.
And so we're definitely going to piggyback on that and see where that goes this year. I'm really excited for that. I mean, I do love the game of golf, but I love being like in that community. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of potential on that. So, yeah, let's. We got another call hopefully coming up in the next week or two, and we can kind of grind out some more and really get this thing going. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Seems like you have a lot of stuff going on. What does a day in the life of LJ look like? What do you want people to think a day in the life?
No. I mean, it's real deal. I mean, I always say that I'm going to go to the gym like midday, have my son, cover the office so dad can go to the gym. That doesn't work because I'm always hands-on and go. And I'm trying to train him, and our business is always like this. So the day in the life of, the alarm goes off about 4:15, get to the gym, do a little hour and 15 minutes, get home, coffee time, hang out with my wife, do a little devotional, and then we get ready and get to the office. And then we just kind of go. Again, people aren't very good at planning their day, which, at work we kind of figure it out as we go. So get the vans going, and then, typically leave the office. I mean, we close at 5, but I typically leave between 4 and 5, get home, drink more coffee. That's all I do is drink black coffee and water. That's it. That's all I do up until 9 o'clock at night. So I make 14 cups of coffee, and we drink a little more than half of it. And then when I come home, I finish the rest. And
wow.
And then we hang out. There's a lot going on at my house. My boys are at home, so I got, almost soon to be, my youngest will be 20 in February. And then we have a grand who's running around the house 4 or 5 nights a week.
That's cool.
And then my wife and I, so she just started her 1-year college course today to get into naturopathic type medicines type things that she's doing. So yeah, I mean, we're busy. So we get home, and I always say I'm going to be in bed by 8:30, and then it's always 10:30, and that alarm goes right back off.
Yeah.
So,
it's funny because I do say Christine's much more of a night owl than I am. I mean, if I sit down on the couch and watch TV, I'm
Yeah,
out.
I wish.
Pass out. I just pass out on the couch, and she wakes me up like, whatever time she's heading to bed. She's like, "Hun,
Yeah.
get up." But I'm going to get to bed early tonight. It's the same thing. Usually 10:30, falling into bed.
What's crazy though is I would say almost every night at like 7:30, I catch myself and I'm just like, oh, like I think I could go to bed right now. And the only reason I don't is because I know my body only needs like 5 or 6 hours. And if I go to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'm going to be up at 1, 2, 2:30 in the morning.
But you know how quiet it is at 1 o'clock in the
Oh,
morning?
man.
You get so much done.
Yeah. I mean, it's quiet at 4, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know what to do. My wife would wake up and see me sitting there. She'd go, "What are you doing?" Like, well, emails came in last night and we're just go.
Working.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. We spend at home dinners. My wife and I almost religiously 5:30. We have dinner. We usually like to watch a show while we do that. We had a lot of good shows. We love watching our shows while we do that. And then we just hang out.
Yeah.
Put it on repeat.
And really, I mean, even though you've got people at home, it's just the two of you.
Yeah.
You guys do family dinners together and stuff? Or?
Yeah. We try to do like on Sundays, family dinner with the boys, make sure that, they're available for that if they don't have plans. But yeah, my wife and I, she's my best friend.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And she gets me better than anyone. And she puts up with me. We've been together 28 years. I always remember because my daughter's 27. So I'm like, we've been together 28. But
wow.
Yeah. So we hang out and talk a lot. And, we just kind of do our thing. Occasionally we have like a red light sauna and a hyperbaric chamber at home. So she forces me, and yes, she forces. I'm like, babe, I don't want to go sit in 170 degrees for 30 minutes. And she's like, it's so good for you, but that's it, man. Like we don't. We'll take walks. We like to walk. Probably not as much as we should, but yeah, man, it's pretty simple. It's that hectic time, right? That go time. Get to work at 7:30, and then man, shut it down.
Yeah.
When I first started this, man, I'd answer calls at 8 o'clock at night. Now, my time is more valuable. If you need something, I'll be there tomorrow. But yeah, and we enjoy that. And my wife loves, even with our kids being young adults, she loves like their friends over. So we have this thing where like my wife and I will be in bed, and we're like our living room and kitchen, and then our bedroom's downstairs right after that. Everything else is upstairs. But for some reason, man, we'll be in bed like 9 o'clock, just talking, watching the show, whatever. And our boys will come home and their friends will be with them. Like somehow, like all these like young adults, like just hanging out in my bedroom, like want to know what are we doing? How was the day? And what do we got? My wife's always talking to the young ladies about like, well, what did you do? And how was work? And I'm just like, what are we doing? And then, we got a room full of like everyone trying these TikTok, videos. I'm like, hey, let's do this. And I'm like, I'm gonna hurt something like. So my wife loves that, and I partake in that. But it's pretty just family oriented when we get home.
That's nice.
Yeah,
nice. You brought up a couple times, throughout the conversation, your relationship with God.
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking you about that?
Let's hammer it out.
Well, I'll just ask you. I mean, you said 2007. I think that you accepted God into your life.
Yeah. So. Obviously, Melissa and I get together at seniors in high school. We're 17. Of course, we have a baby, and we're like, well, we got to get married. Now, she would probably, rightfully so, she would tell you. I remember when she broke up with me when our daughter was like a couple weeks old.
Oh, no.
Thank you to my mother-in-law that she sent her back outside the house and said, go get that boy. Like, what are you doing? You're just, you're just being... You're being a turd. So she called me back. She goes, my mom says you need to come back inside. I was like, great, thanks. But we really were. We got married at 19, and we had no idea what it meant. I didn't grow up, and I want to preface like I love my dad. I love everything about my dad now, but I didn't have a dad growing up. After we moved down from Payson, it was really hard. And so to be a 11-year-old boy and your parents get divorced and then you're raised with a mom and two sisters, there was nothing was put in me on like how to be like a provider, how to be a man, how to take care of a woman and a baby. So I was dumb and immature, and I was a I never did drugs because Discount Tire drug tested, but man, I drank with the best of them. And the problem with me is I never would say no. And it led to some really dark times for Melissa and I. And looking back on it now, you can call it whatever you want. It's truly the grace of God that somehow we managed to get through 20 to 26 together. We really have no business with the story except for there's a redemptive work in our lives because of who Jesus is to both of us. But so we didn't go to church as young adults. We were raised in a family. We were doing things we shouldn't be. I was a drunk. I mean, that's all I did. I mean, I would get off work and just go get hammered and then get home. And so not a good decision. So my wife started going back to church at 24. And that's when she rededicated her life to Christ. And she would ask me to go to church. She was working still at the time because our youngest wasn't born. And Sundays were like, football Sundays were like, if I could get a 30-pack down before the afternoon game was over, knowing that I had to get a 12er for the night game. I had a buddy with me, so he drank more than I did, but I tried to keep up. But so a lot of drinking was she would ask me to meet her at church. She'd get off work and she'd like, can you come to church at like 3 or 3:30 on a Sunday? So for 2 years I would go to church just like no business, hammered. Just sit there and be like, oh my gosh, like what are we doing? And it's my wife and my mom, my wife's grandmother. It was just like, man, they just were praying for me. They were just like praying that I would be the man that they wanted me to be, and they knew I could be, and they knew God was going to have to change LJ's heart. I'll never forget this. Christmas in 2006, I was laying down at the top in my bedroom, and so the house we lived in, it was like mom and dad's room, a hallway maybe 15 feet long, and the kids' rooms one was the boys shared a room here and Taylor's room, and they had a shared Jack and Jill bathroom. And Christmas had just wrapped up, my family had left, and I was just laying there, man, and I was just the kids were running around, supposed to be getting in the bath, probably causing trouble, and I just remember thinking, I have nothing left to like offer. Like I can't fix this. This is the desire in me is like broken. And my wife had been going to church for years. For 2 years, she had started serving at the church. She started doing women's ministry, and man, she just kept putting up with me. And I say that like very intently. Melissa just put up with me because she wanted to see God change my heart. And I just said, all right, God, like I got nothing to offer. I got onto the website of the church we had been attending. I reached out to the dude that ran the men's Bible study at Paradise Cafe on Valdez and Baseline. I said, hey, and I wrote this big, long letter of like why I shouldn't come. I'm a drunk. We had kid out of wedlock. I've committed adultery, and, I've done all these things wrong. And this dude fires back, and he just says, man, I'd love to meet you. I'd love to meet you. We meet here. We're going to fire up after the first of the year, back on Wednesday mornings if you want, or Thursday mornings if you want to show up. He's like, man, I'd love to meet you. And I walked into that place holding a Bible that Melissa's grandmother had bought me. I had no idea what to expect. And I sat down, man, and I met 12 dudes who were just like me. Cocaine addict, heroin addict, a guy on his third or fourth marriage, another dude. I was like sitting here going, wait a minute, these dudes call themselves like Christ followers, and we're the same thing. And we started hammering out the book of Ephesians together. And, I just know that like by the end of January, the last study in January, my heart had been so captivated. And I want to be careful. Well, I just want to say this, not by religion, but by who Jesus Christ was and who I was learning about this man that walked on this earth and gave himself for my life, for me and for you, and gave himself up willfully so that we could have a relationship with God the Father. Like when that hit me, I couldn't do anything but just go, oh my gosh. And I just there was like this overwhelming feeling of like all the things that I've done. Like when you ask me about regret and this and that, I don't regret the things I've done because they shaped who I was and put me in a position that when God saved LJ in a cafe and said, I love you in spite of who you are and what you've done, that doesn't matter to me. And I felt that. And I'm telling you what, man, I was running through walls. Melissa actually will tell you, like, she was like jealous. She was like angry. She was like, God, I've been pursuing you for years now, and I don't have this. I was like, dude, we were hammering out prayer time and Bible time, and we were doing just talking about the goodness of God in my home. Like, he is so good to love us and to bring your mom and dad. Like, I never shied away from who I was to my kids. Your dad was a sinner, broken, and I had no hope in anything that I could provide, and God saved Daddy. And because of that, man, like, and I don't want to, I call it the Richardson curse. If my dad watches this, I hope he understands what I mean by that, because the Richardsons have a long lineage of like broken marriages, broken homes, drug abuse, alcohol abuse. And I felt like I had the opportunity, even though I was heavily drinking and all those things that I did, that I had this opportunity to finally bring stability to a Richardson home. Not because of anything I did, but because I showed up and I read about this man named Jesus, and I just read it with intent of like, if this is real, if the God of the Bible is who he says he is, then I need that. And he showed up, and he changed the trajectory of our family. He changed who I am as a man. He just put us in positions to see like how great he can be all the time. And yeah, man. So it just kind of like catapulted from there. Yeah. I mean, I actually quit drinking for like 6 months. Like, I just had no desire. And then I went to Oregon for a summer, and me and my stepdad played in a golf tournament, and they had free beer, and I was like, all right, let's go. But it took it, and it, look, man, nothing was like perfect because I committed my life to Christ. I mean, I still battle with anger issues, and they were still the past that Melissa and I were loving each other through and going, okay, like, this is who we are. This is our family dynamic. Let's press on. Let's press on for the betterment of this relationship, so that this relationship between her and I being one unit. That was the thing that really clicked for me, was God's design for a marriage. Was that, like, Melissa wasn't someone beneath me to just take care of the kids, and then I'm going to go make this money, and like, you do what I say. It was like, man, we're a unit. And this is the strength that you bring, and this is the strength that I bring, and this is how we're going to run our home together. And let's do it, and let's kick butt at it. And we did that, and we do that even to this day. I mean, she compliments me so well, and if she was here, hopefully she would say, like, man, LJ brings this to the table, and that's how we get 26 years down the road.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that walk with Christ has been, it's like a stock market. Like, you get saved, but man, there's the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs. It's, by all means, my life is any different per se in the circumstances that come my way, but there is a greater hope in my heart to know that, like, man, like, God's in control of all this, and all I have to do is like be God honoring in my family, in my business, in my relationships, and but I mean, I'm just a regular dude that loves Jesus, man.
Yeah. Well, that's beautiful.
Thanks.
I mean, I appreciate you sharing, because I don't know, it's impactful, it's powerful.
Yeah.
Hopefully it landed on somebody's ears that it actually touches and makes a difference. I think that'd be huge. So, well, hey, I greatly appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything that we need to know about LJ that we don't know?
No.
That I haven't asked, that I should ask?
I don't know.
What do you do in your spare time? Watch TV. What are your shows?
I don't really. Well, yeah. So
tell me what.
I'm a huge Peaky Blinders fan.
Oh,
like, I've watched that show twice.
Have you?
And it's better with the subtitles.
It's got a movie coming out.
I know. I can't wait. I just think I love that show. Like, I always bounce around. Like, if I could go back to any point in time, which would it be? And I'm like, sometimes I think, man, I want to be on that horseback, and I want to be a cowboy. And I'm like, no, man, it'd be pretty cool to be like a gangster, like an old school turn of the century mobster.
It's so funny because I think I would want to. I think I would take the horseback.
Yeah.
The cowboys, the old west.
Yeah.
Get on the horse, and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna head.
Yeah.
Follow the sun.
Probably less likely if you just kind of dodge the bullets to not get killed.
Yeah, right.
Gangsters, they're blowing things up.
Yeah.
Man, what do we watch? Man, it's so funny. Like, you ask that, and you're like, your mind's just like, we watch all of them.
Yeah.
We watch every single one of them. Yeah, Peaky Blinders was big for us. There's just so many of them that, like, we've gone through. Like, Dead to Me was a really good one. I mean, what are we watching now? Like, Mayor of Kingstown, or Jeremy Renner's legit.
Have you watched Suits yet?
So funny you say that. I didn't get introduced to Suits until like 3 seasons into it by my boss with the Crucible business.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, hey, have you watched Suits? And I was like, no. So when I would work out in the gym, I would do the elliptical for one show, and then I would go back to my hotel room and I would burn through like just episode after episode. Like, I loved that show. I freaking...
That's what I did with Outsiders.
Okay.
Or Outlanders.
Outlanders. Yeah,
or Outlanders.
Just burn through it?
I'd go to the gym, I'd get on the elliptical, and I'd watch, and then it's like, oh, I need to see that.
Yeah. That's how Suits was for me. I was like, man, if I'm on the road traveling, I have so many seasons just to catch up.
Yeah.
And I told everybody about it. Everyone's like, this show's great. And I'm like, it's been out for like 3 years. They're like, holy crap. So
I did kind of similar with The Office. I never got, like, when it was like on TV, like actual, not in syndication, but on TV.
Right.
And everybody's watching, they're doing all, it didn't click at all.
Still don't click for me.
And then, and my son started watching it.
Yeah.
And so I kind of would catch pieces of it, and then I started watching it.
You like it?
Oh, it's hilarious.
I can't stand it.
It's freaking so funny.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm like, no, this humor is like so hard for me to do.
Oh, Once I think for me, once I started understanding like the relationships between the people,
right,
and all the stuff that was happening in the background, then it's like it just became. And then, of course, I've worked in an office the majority of my life, so it's like that whole thing where you're like, oh yeah,
you can relate.
I
to
can
it,
see
right?
this actually happening,
Yeah.
But that's funny. So, well, cool. Well, hey. Greatly appreciate you coming on the show.
Man. I really appreciate
taking the time and been good getting to know you and understand who you are a little bit better.
Thanks,
I really appreciate it. I'm going to give you a challenge coin.
Okay.
This is your challenge coin for coming on. I actually will have another gift for you as well because everybody on the show gets a gift.
Okay.
I just am behind on getting them made.
All right.
But that challenge coin is above and beyond.
Super cool.
I appreciate you coming on and going above and beyond with us.
Yeah, man.
And anything I can do, please let me know.
Okay.
So
Thanks so much for your time, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate
thank you.
all this. Thanks for just the opportunity to come on and run my mouth. So, I said, don't take too long. I said, don't worry, we'll keep this up.
Last thing, let me know how people can get in touch with you at MobiTire.
Yeah.
Or Orca.
Yeah. Or Orca.
If you want.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just don't want to have to keep telling people soon. Frank keeps on hitting me up. He's like, wait, what's the 411 on the golf? And I'm like, soon. Yeah, you can call me or you can email us. I mean, just get a hold of me, whatever you need.
What's your website? MobiTire.com?
Yeah, MobiTire.com, MobiTire.com.
So like mobile, stopping at the I.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we thought about that one. Me and my buddy over cigar night. We're like, let's come up with a company name.
We're not sure if the E goes before the L or the L goes before the E, so we're just stopping at the I.
Let's go Moby. And of course, everyone's like Moby Dick. And I'm like, no, not like the whale, but whatever you have to do.
It works.
Yeah, MobiTire.com, or you can, look me up on the APN website, and all of my email address and everything's on there. So I'd love the opportunity, man, just to get to know more people, more businesses, figure out how to keep people, with their fleets and stuff up and running.
Yeah.
I mean, the money that we charge on site is minimal versus the amount of money people lose having a technician sit around and wait.
Yep.
To get stuff done. So, And then Orca, LJ at orcagolf.com. But we're holding on tight for that. But it's going to be epic, and I think there's going to be some cool things that we're going to be hopefully. And talking with Frank and Karen, there'll be some partnership with that company. So
we'll stay tuned for that one.
Yeah.
But if you ever need a mobile tire, call MobiTire.
MobiTire. Thank you, sir.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, dude. This is LJ Richardson, and I went above and beyond.
Stories we share beyond the fairways, friendships grow in APN's embrace, opportunities flow. No happy talking, just real deals, authentic connections, the kind that heals from Palm Springs to Pine Top Grace. APN's network spans every place. Above Par Network, we're going above and beyond, reaching new heights in networking realms. work, we truly thrive.
Like, share, and subscribe to Above and Beyond, where excellence meets elevation. Elevate your mindset, one episode at a time.